What's it like being blind and being on YouTube? So I guess the first thing I should do is tell you that I was not born blind. I have a disease that is called retinitis pigmentosa. So I've been slowly going blind over a long period of time. In a nutshell, basically, the average person has a visual field of about 200 degrees, so it's a little bit past. So 200 degrees. I have a visual field of 12 degrees. That means I can see about like that. So no, I am not totally blind. So with that comes the first thing. What do you put down? How do you describe yourself? What is the term you use? So if you say that you're blind, then people say, well, you're not blind, you can see, so you're not blind. If you leave it vague and say, I'm visually impaired, then, now I don't mind questions, but then all the questions come. Well, what does that mean? How much? What is it? What can you see? What can't you see? What can you do? What can't... So visually impaired is like a wide statement, so I don't leave it that broad. So I use the term legally blind. Now that term opens up a whole new can of worms. Legally blind. What does that mean? Oh, that's just a way for you to scam the government so you can get free money. So yeah, I am so good that I scammed and fooled a team of eye specialists, and I even laid down and went under eye surgery just so I could scam the government. Now, as I stated, I wasn't born blind, so therefore I worked. I worked for a very long time, actually up until a couple of years ago. And why did I stop working then? Well, I'll tell you. I couldn't do the jobs that I used to do. It was no longer safe for me or the people that I worked with. For example, I used to work in steel mills and foundries. I used to be a lighting technician, where I'd hang things like these. On trusses and scaffolding. And intelligent lighting, similar to this. I wasn't light tech for anybody world famous. I didn't tour the world. I didn't even tour the country. It was just basically for local bands in my area around Pennsylvania and Maryland. There are a few that maybe some of you will know. There was a band called London. Ran lights for them. I ran lights for just one or two shows, but a small band that you might have heard of called Kicks. I was a firefighter for about 10 years. I did construction, and my last job actually was I worked for a company that did fire hose testing. I traveled around to 6 states and we tested fire hose. So as my eyesight progressively got worse, I changed jobs, and luckily enough for me, the guy I was working for, he kind of moved me around and moved me out of the field, and actually I was in the office for a while doing phone calls, computer work and paperwork and filing and stuff like that. So he kind of made me a secretary, and then I just couldn't do it anymore. So a few years ago I became unemployed due to my blindness. So that's when I started doing some YouTube stuff. No, I didn't start a YouTube channel to get rich. I don't do it for the money. I do it for something to do, and it is kind of fun. And if anybody that does watch me regularly or has seen any of my other videos, all the artwork that's around the room in here, this is all mine. It's all colored pencil drawings by me. And this eye logo of mine is also a drawing that I did. But the reason why I just told you all this is because when you go on and you say you are blind or visually impaired or legally blind, then you have the people, the critics, the haters, the just downright mean people. They come out of the woodwork and they want to attack your credibility and your integrity. Now I guess all that just isn't being blind on YouTube. I would assume, and I'm pretty sure, that everybody on YouTube faces the same thing. All the critics that come on and say that your channel is boring, your channel sucks, you suck, you're stupid, you're ugly, you're a scam artist, you're conning the government, you're really not blind, you're a liar, blah 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 blah. Now if you click on any of these critics' names and you go to their channel to see how it should be done, to watch good quality videos on an excellent channel, guess what you get? 0 subscribers, 0 content, no videos. Aww. The critics have no talent. Now another thing with my retinitis pigmentosa that I have, I'm very, very light sensitive. That's why I always wear sunglasses. So, sometimes the lighting might be off. It might not be up to par. I might be in the dark. I might be in shadows. I may have one side of my face lit, not the other. Well, that's one of the things, being on YouTube and being blind and visually impaired, sometimes I don't get the lighting right. And as I stated earlier, not in this for the money, so I don't make a whole lot. So I don't have money. I didn't hire a crew, so I don't have a sound man, a lighting technician, and all that. It's just me, the blind guy. Textures, gradients, shadows, sharpness, brightness, all that stuff during editing. It looks one way to me, but it might look funky to you guys when I throw up a video. You might say, what's that dude doing, man? Why doesn't he sharpen this up? Or why is this so dark and that's so bright? And, well, when you have limited sight, sometimes you just get it wrong. Editing can also take a little bit longer due to the eye strain. You know, staring at the screen and trying to get things done, putting clips together, watching things over and over again. I have to rest quite often. I can't just sit down for, you know, like an hour or two straight and just edit. During editing, it probably takes me a little bit longer, maybe a lot longer than most people. Sometimes when you're looking at the screen and I lose the cursor on the screen. I got to search around for it. I got to move it around. If I want to get out of this room, go film something, I have to find somebody that's not working or wait for a weekend or after work. Then I got to bug them to drive me somewhere. Got to schlep all my my camera and lights and microphones and stuff down to a car, load it in the car, and get someone to drive me somewhere and sit around twiddling their thumbs while I run around and film some stuff, maybe even just for 5-10 minutes, and then drive me back. I go to a location, whether it be outside somewhere else or even here in this room or in my own home. I look at a spot and I say, that'll be a cool spot. I stand there, I do my little spiel, I go, and then when I'm doing editing, I see all the stuff that's in the background that I couldn't see when I was looking at that spot. And sometimes it's, who knows what it could be, but it's stuff in a shot that the camera sees that's much more wider than my little field of view. So being blind on YouTube has its challenges, but it is possible. It's not undoable. As for all the critics and the haters, depending on my mood of the day, how you'll get a response. You might get a mean, nasty one, you might get a silly, funny one, or you might not get one at all. If you enjoy my videos and my channel, thank you, and I appreciate you stopping by. If you don't like my videos or my channels, you really don't need to leave a comment. You can just scroll on by to the next one. If you do choose to leave a comment, I'll leave it up. I won't block or censor you. I'll leave it up so everybody can see just what a dickhead you are. So it's not an excuse, and no, I don't want your pity, but if you watch my videos and you see a couple and one's pretty good, one's okay, one's shitty, and then a couple ain't so good, the lighting's off or something, sorry. It's the best I can do at the time. Bear with me. Hopefully I'll get better as time goes by. My eyes might get worse. I might not be able to do this at all sometime. Who knows? But until then, I'm going to do what I can. So I would just like to take some time to thank those who took a little bit of time out of their day to visit my channel and click on a video or two and watch little old me. This is Blind Views. Yes, I am blind, and that's the way I see it.
What we do here is go back.